got the touch. Got the feel. You let it fly. Okay. Yeah, that's it, Earl. Great, fantastic. You got it. You got it. In the heat of the night, feel the funk from
Yes, sir.
above. On the floor,
Floyd
on
House
both
Flicks
sides of the
in the
hall. Eat
building.
cornbread.
Cornbread, Earl
Cornbread.
and Me.
Cornbread.
Black
Cornbread. It's a magic
Cinema
pill with the perfect
Sunday.
vibe.
Blacks
A
in Cinema
botanic pill,
Sundays.
not a trick for one
We
eye.
got another
Eat
one. Cornbread,
cornbread.
Earl and Me.
Cornbread.
A film
Cornbread.
directed by
It's a man. It's a man.
Joe
Got a
Manduke,
microphone in his hand.
and it was done in 1970. Uh, we're looking at Lawrence Fishburne in his first film endeavor. Lawrence Fishburne was probably 11 years old when this movie came out. Moses Gunn, Rosalind Cash, Bernie Casey, Madge Sinclair from Coming to America. She played Hakeem's mother. Uh, Keith Wilkes, an actual UCLA NBA basketball player playing Cornbread. Antonio Fargas, as we know as Huggy Bear in this movie. His name is One Eye. He's a number runner, and he wears the finest of the fineries, and he's got one eye. We don't know how that happened. Um, we have Stack Pierce, um, Thalamus Rasula, Bernie Casey. The film is laid with black, some of the finest black actors that were in the game at the time. And what the film is about, it's about a young man named Cornbread. Of course, that's not his real name, but everyone called him Cornbread, I guess, for his affinity for cornbread. Who don't like cornbread? And it speaks to him graduating high school, preparing himself to go to college to play basketball. He wants to be a pro basketball player, eat, sleep, everything basketball. All of his neighbors knows who he is because they can hear that ball bouncing off the walls in the building. All his neighborhood knows who he is because they see him on the basketball court and they know he's going to be a star. Everyone loves cornbread. In the theme song, it says he's a dream to his mom. He's a man to his pops. He's a legend to the kids, and he loves soda pop. That's cornbread. Lawrence Fishburne, or at the time his name was Larry, plays Wilford, his young cousin. And Earl is Wilford's best friend. They always go back and forth. They're always arguing. There's always something. But it's just kids being kids. In the community, there is a pop stand, or I wouldn't quite call it a soda shop, but it's a store that the all the community goes to, and they hang out in the store. The soda guy, or the older black man that owns the shop, he's always joking and playing around with the kids and whatever. It's all good. And then there's the garbage truck driver, black man who's been doing his job for 13 years, and he's everyone knows him in the community. And then we meet Officer Atkins, played by Bernie Casey, and his partner, whose name for whatever reason escapes me, but that's okay. Um, we see them encounter a rape scene. They get to the rape scene. Uh, Neighbors are telling them, as the police telling them what happened, and the guy went that way. So then they start chasing the guy. Guy, tall, black guy. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but there's a description for most black people. I'm gonna say this because this is what people talk about. He fits the description. What does that mean? Black male between the heights of 5'8" and 6'8", ages 18 to 52. That's the description generally. Back in the day. Back in the day. Right. Okay, so they're running after the suspect. They see someone running. They lose sight of him a few times. On this particular day, it's pouring rain. Cornbread, Wilford, Earl and One Eye and the store owner, they're all in the store talking and just trying to get out of the rain. They go back and forth, and then Wilfred issues a challenge to Cornbread. I bet you can't get home, and I bet you can get home in 10 seconds. He says, nah, maybe about 25 seconds I can get home. So they say bet. So they bet a soda. Cornbread grabs an extra soda for himself, and then he takes off. 25 seconds. He's counting. And a one, and a two, and they're running. And he's running. He's running with the soda in one hand and his basketball in his other hand. He's running. And the kids, Wilfred and Earl, and One Eye, and the guy at the soda store, they watching him run. He's running. And it's pouring rain, really bad rain. And as he gets to a certain point, out of nowhere, the cops come. Officer Atkins and his partner come out of nowhere. The garbage truck with the garbage man that's known in the neighborhood. The truck is blaring with the garbage truck moving, garbage truck noises. Apparently, they yell something. Cornbread does not hear it. He keeps running. He's got the basketball. He's got the soda. It's pouring rain. It's dark. He keeps running. And then the cops shoot him dead in the streets. Wilford is heartbroken. That's his big cousin. That's his idol. Wilfred is screaming up and down the street, they killed Cornbread. They killed Cornbread. It was them. And he points at the cops. And the cops standing around just shook, not knowing what to do. So it seems most of the attention was to the white officer. Now, it was actually the black officer that shot Cornbread, but the attention was to the white officer. And while he's standing in the streets looking over Cornbread, the black officer tries to go to the squad car to call for backup, and then all hell breaks loose. Riot. They start beating up the white cop. They throw a brick at the police car, hit the police car, shatter the windshield glass in the black officer's face. He's on the ground. They start kicking his ass. Everybody's kicking these two cops' ass because they shot this kid who was always known for being a good guy, and they shot him in the street. Chaos ensues. Then it becomes a matter of them against us. And the them at the time were the community. And the us, not us, but the us was the police force, the coroner's office, and anybody else that was going to try to cover up the fact that this happened. So at that point, police started going around the community questioning everyone as to what happened. The garbage truck guy was first. They went to the garbage truck guy. He's been working for this garbage company for 13 years. He's looking at retirement. He ain't trying to cause no problems. He don't want no problems. Cop says, well, if you don't want no problems, then you didn't see anything. And that was it for the garbage man. They go to the store clerk. Store clerk says, yeah, they were in the store. They go to the store. They in the store, all the time. They were in the store. We saw everything. Well, here, go grab us some sodas. And as the store clerk went to grab the officer some sodas, they threw some marijuana sticks on the counter. The store clerk is like, what kind of soda you like? Root beer, pep, Coke? He said, marijuana. He said, I ain't got no marijuana soda. And then he sees all the marijuana sticks on the table. He says, now, did you see anything? Or did you not see anything? Did you see anything or did you not see anything? I didn't see nothing. All of a sudden, he didn't see nothing. And that really hurt him. You could tell it hurt him because he loved these kids. But at the same time, he didn't want to lose everything he had. So as the cops were leaving, and he says, no, I didn't see anything. I didn't see anything. He let out a scream and he starts cursing out these cops. You so-and-so, you dirty, nasty so-and-so. But at the same time, he didn't see anything. Then there was Earl, who was a child. But they got to Earl's dad. And Earl's dad got Earl to keep his mouth shut. And Earl was just heartbroken. Earl's crying. Earl's just heartbroken. So all of this goes to court. Now, there's an attorney whose name is Mr. Blackwell, played by Moses Gunn. Excellent character. Moses Gunn, excellent actor. There was also an incident where the police went to Wilford and Wilford's mom's house. Now, Wilford's mom's name was Sarah. Sarah and Wilford were in their apartment, and they were constantly being threatened by social services, and also, now that this happened, being threatened by the police. If you don't do this and cooperate with us, we're going to take you off the welfare. For whatever reason, black folks is always on the welfare in the ghetto. It's a real thing. I've seen it before. Shit happens in the ghetto. People don't have the wherewithal to necessarily take care of themselves the way they need to. They're in the ghetto. They're on welfare. They're threatened to lose their apartments, lose everything because they're in the ghetto, because they're on welfare. So they're always threatened to lose the welfare. So then, but the police sergeant who was going house to house started grabbing on Wilford, saying, "You didn't see anything. You give me the right answers. You didn't say anything." Wilford starts crying. His mother steps up and says, "Get off my son." And of course, he gives her a slap across the chops. Like that was the thing to do. Not knowing that Sarah was dating this man upstairs who his name was, he was played by a character played by Thalamus Rasulama, or Rasula rather, I'm sorry, his name was Charlie. So Charlie comes downstairs with the gun. This is when Wilford runs upstairs. "Charlie, somebody's beating my mama." He comes downstairs with the gun. He doesn't know what's going on. He just, "Get out of here. You don't belong here." And he pulls a gun on him, and the guy lets him know. He said, "I'm a cop. You just made a mistake." And you can see the look on Charlie's face like he knew he made a mistake. But Charlie really wasn't about nothing but trying to get with Willard's mom anyway. So, he was kind of like, he had his own agenda. But he was trying to help Sarah, but he wasn't trying to be no daddy figure to Wilford. That was his own thing. So he gets the cop away from Sarah, and then Sarah, Sarah runs out with a knife, like she's gonna stab the guy, and Charlie grabs her and gets her to calm down. But then the cop says, "You just made a mistake, boy," kind of thing. And Charlie bopped him upside the head with the gun while he was running down the stairs, caused him to fall down the stairs. It was kind of funny. I thought it was kind of funny. Two people I have not addressed, remissfully, and that would be Sam and Leona. Sam and Leona, played by Madge Sinclair and Stat Pierce, played Cornbread's parents. They had an experience that I would never want to have. It was very heart-wrenching as a parent just to watch that scene. They had to identify their son with the coroner. There are no words that could explain the feeling that's attached to that, especially as a parent. Very difficult to address, and I could understand the anger and the everything that goes along with that. I'm sure this is a thing that exists in our community. It happens a lot, whether it's at the hands of the streets or if it's at the hands of corruption. It's happened. So Sam and Leona, very proud people, very proud people. They did everything they were supposed to do to raise their son to be a good man, and that's what he was. So when they started the trial, the coroner judge, as he was called, he told the mother, "There's an administrative fee of $27, but if you fill out this form, it'll be waived under the circumstances." He didn't really give a shit. The mother looked at him, stood up, opened her purse, and pulled out the money. Now, the attorney, Mr. Blackwell, says you don't have to do that. Even the judge says, I wish there was something else we could do. He started to feel some kind of way about how he was acting. Himself started to feel some way about how he was acting. Of course, he was a white man, but he was feeling some kind of way about it. And then she gave him $30. He says, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. And he gives her back $3 and she walks off the stand and that's it. But she did it proud. She was a proud black woman. And ain't nothing wrong with that. She did everything she was supposed to do. And you're not going to make her feel some kind of way, especially as if you're doing her a favor. And she didn't want that. And that was a very powerful moment in the film. Um, so as the trial proceeded, there was a scene where they called everybody up to the stand. They called the garbage man up to the stand. I've been doing this for 13 years. I did, well, did you see anything? No, I didn't see nothing. I was in the truck, and the truck was loud. And did you hear anything? No, I said the truck was loud, so I didn't hear nothing too. And then what had happened was I didn't see nothing, even though he saw everything. But he is now not part of this conversation. So he wants to keep his job. 13 years in, he wants to keep his job. They reach out to the store owner. Store owner says now you for sure you seen something. Was anyone in your store? Nobody was in my store. Nobody was in the store. Wasn't nobody in the store. So no one was in the store. And you didn't see nothing. No, I didn't see nothing. I was working my store. He didn't want to lose what he had. He put himself first, which a lot of people do. So then there was that. Then they called young Earl is a child. He was being heavy-handed with the child. Then Earl starts to cry. Earl's dad steps up and says he doesn't know anything, and he's not going to say anything because he didn't want anything to happen to him, and he didn't want anything to happen to his son Earl. The only person that had the wherewithal to get up and say something about what happened that day was young Wilford, who saw everything, and he explained everything he saw. Everything. Now, the two cops are in the courtroom, and the one cop, the black cop, Mr. Adkins, played by Bernie Casey, when the incident first happened and the riot ensued and he got beaten up, he was talking reckless. Oh, they're animals. We got to keep things in order and animals and this, that, and the other thing. As if he wasn't part of the conversation, what happened. He was very much part of the conversation. But at the same time, sometimes people lose themselves in what they believe they are opposed to who they are. So once he heard young Wilford's testimony, it started to cause him to rethink what happened. And then he was called upon the stand and he totally recanted his view of what happened. And it caused everything to go haywire. The sergeant that was beating up people and tried to beat up the mom and tried to tell everybody what they had to do was livid. And of course, the partner, silent but not against his partner, the white officer, he stood with Officer Atkins. And then when the sergeant came and started acting the fool, the sergeant had to get them hands. So they gave the sergeant them hands. It was sort of like a liberating moment for both of them. The word "you people" was used so much in this movie. It was heavy. But then a lot of these films like this, they use the term "you people." We all know what that means. There's so many threats and so much hard treatment in these films. And you would think this is like, the olden days, but when the olden days were the olden days, they still did the same shit. They just did it publicly. Now they do the same things and they do it privately. But then when we had a certain president in office, again, it became a public conversation. So a lot more people became comfortable with their disdain or hatred or whatever. Ultimately, it was compassion that won the day for the characters of Cornbread, Earl, and Me. Unusually so, because generally, it doesn't work out in the favor of the people of the ghetto or black people. It doesn't work out in their favor. Now, I say it lightly when I say work out in their favor, because that mother and that father Sam and Leona lost their child, but they were he was vindicated behind it all because of Wilford and because of his love for his cousin and because Officer Atkins decided to tell the truth. It's a beautiful thing. Um, I think that there are going to be more films. Absolutely, there are going to be more films like this coming, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. It's uncomfortable. It doesn't need to be. We could just have a conversation. Dialogue is everything. If we can have a dialogue with each other about things like this, a lot of things can be resolved. There are questions that people want to ask. Please ask. Please engage. If you engage, you can have a dialogue and you can have some information that maybe you didn't know. So don't be afraid to have conversations about stuff like this. We don't want to shy away from stuff like this. It's the conversations that create resolution so we can move forward. And forward moving is what we should all be about, especially now. Things are crazy. So, this has been my review of Cornbread, Earl, and Me. In fact, this is only on the DVD. There is no Blu-ray for Cornbread, Earl, and Me. I'm going to be pulling these things out and I'm going to show you guys some movies that you've never seen before. I'm going to show you some that you have seen before. I'm going to show you some that you've heard of. But I'm going to show you some stuff that you've never seen before. I guarantee it. All right? This is Floyd House Flicks in the building. Blacks in Cinema Sunday. Every Sunday, I come on at noon. I show you what I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch it, and then I'm going to come in, and we're going to talk about it. If we have any delays, most of them are technical. This is the nature of what we do. Floyd House Flicks in the building. Get ready for another one, because I'm going to do another movie. I'm going to do another movie, and we're going to talk about that. And if we don't have the conversation today, we're going to have the conversation tomorrow during the physical media commute number 31, 30, 31, 31. And we're going to, remember this, give away a Blu-ray, DVD, 4K gift pack. It's not going to be a slouch. It's going to be a nice gift pack for the 100th person. Once I get to 100 subscribers, I'm going to randomly select somebody to receive that gift pack. You could be subscriber number 1. You could be subscriber number 100. We're going to get it. I'm going to send it out. My money is good. Trust me when I say you're going to love it. When you get your gift pack, you're going to know that I'm the truth. Trust me when I say that. I'm trying to build a channel. Floyd House Flicks, Blacks in Cinema Sundays, every Sunday at noon. Physical media commute, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Every time I'm in, you'll love it. All right, y'all. This has been Floyd House Flicks. Get ready for the next movie because it's coming. All right. I'll stay up. Salute. See you soon.